Hey everyone.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Hope you're having a great day. For those of you who don't know, I'm Ashley Watson.
And I'm Josh Watson.
And we're both psychotherapists and spiritual life coaches here on a mission to help you find love, stay in love, be in love.
And enjoy life.
And
right?
enjoy life, yes.
Yeah. So we've got a great topic for you today.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
if you're
really a timely one,
It's
right?
a super timely one. If you're just joining us, let us know that you're here. Comment and give us some hearts. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from, because we want to know you're with us.
Yeah. At any point during the show, I guess, let us know and put comments in. If you have any questions while we're going over any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing this out so that other people can see it too.
Yeah. So, and today's topic has everything to do with relationships and the holidays, right? So we're going to get really clear on helping you to be able to deal with those difficult family members, right?
Yes.
And so we're going to give you 3 ways to be able to set healthy boundaries with difficult family members, right?
Yeah, because who else besides us has difficult family members?
Yeah.
Right? And you want to be able to share the holidays with your family, and everybody's going home to their family and baking cookies and doing all this stuff and wrapping presents, and you want to partake in the fun. But sometimes if you have a difficult relationship with your family, it can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, so these 3 steps that we're going to give you are actually ways that can make it really actually may enjoy the time you have with your family member, right?
Exactly.
And make the holidays go that much smoother. And these are tried and true tested steps. Right?
We have definitely tested them.
Yeah.
In our own lives and in the lives of our clients.
That's right.
And they work every time.
All right. Yeah, they do. And you can just generalize them to the rest of your life as well. Yeah. All right. So, shall we get into it?
Let's get into it. So, Joshua Watson.
Yes, Ashley Watson.
What is step number 1? What do you feel like constitutes, maybe before we get into the steps, what really constitutes a difficult family member?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think that's going to be unique for every person, whether you're a parent with a difficult child, or a child with a difficult parent, or a brother or sister with a difficult sibling, right?
Or that crazy uncle that everybody's got
right.
going on.
Grandma,
grandpa going bananas.
Right. And then maybe you have all of them in one room together.
Oh my gosh, that sounds scary.
Yeah. I think, generally, once you follow these steps that we're going to give you, then it's just being able to sit and enjoy the dysfunction.
Yeah, that's the intention. I think when I think of my own family and the families of my clients, when I think of a difficult family member or when they're having challenges, it's what the experience is that I don't feel like I have the freedom to express my needs, to express my wants, or to express my opinions in the way that I would generally outside of this relationship dynamic.
Yeah. Where it feels like, and I think that's natural. It's when we get around family again, suddenly the person that we are away from family just shrinks back into either that 12-year-old or that 15-year-old son or daughter or brother or sister, something you've found yourself back into that role.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's I want to have my voice, or you want to be who you are, but you feel just stifled.
Totally stifled.
Or it's that somebody's just creates a lot of crazy, right?
We all have that person too who just kind of creates a lot of drama out of nothing that you didn't see coming, and you're how did that happen?
Yeah.
And and you're just what just happened? Like, one minute I was like having like carrots and hummus, and the next minute everybody's screaming at each other.
And somehow this has become a yearly event.
It happens every year. So, you know, if you ever have that experience of like going into your family or going into a holiday gathering where like you're like, I don't feel like I have the freedom to be myself, hopefully these steps that we're gonna give you are gonna help you be able to have those clear boundaries, and you're going to be able to set them with love and to set them with good intentions,
right,
so that you can enjoy your family for who they are, and you can enjoy yourself as you are without feeling like either one is getting stifled or too entangled in the other.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things that beyond these 3 steps is that what you'll do is you'll be going into seeing your family with a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
And that feels good.
That feels good. You know, just knowing that you have a plan and like you have an action steps that you're going to take and a way out if you need one. Right.
Which is part of the plan.
Which is part of the plan. If that's something that's true for you, I mean, you know, not to minimize how serious some
absolutely
like how triggering, how difficult it can be to be around family members that
have been hurtful.
That's a good word.
Have been hurtful.
Yep. So these 3 steps that we're going to give you are going to allow you and help you to really develop a plan so that you can be around these people, and in a way to connect, because there may be other people that you really do want to connect with, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Step number 1.
Step number 1.
Okay. Step number 1 is begin with the end in mind.
Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah. So this is important because it's, you know, going into seeing your family, and maybe we should make an avatar or something for like this difficult family member.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, whether he's an uncle or an aunt or your mom or dad or whoever, you know, the idea is to think about how do you want this
holiday experience
to go. How do you want the visit to go? Like, you know, maybe that you have to go visit family on this date and time. What is your plan? What is your intention around the visit?
Yeah, because also, like, if you're experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, or you're carrying a lot of the baggage about what has happened in the past, that yet you're going to bring all of that energy with you into the situation.
Yeah.
And not that you would intentionally be wanting to create a fight or dysfunction, but if you go in feeling, if you want to have like a healthy, happy, joyful, lighthearted time, if you're going in with a lot of anxiety and anger and rage and irritability, you're likely going to create that type of atmosphere for yourself.
Right. Yeah, and so with this step number 1, it's really giving you the opportunity to be a participant in creating the experience you want, right? That, you know, do I want the end to be that I'm anxious and fearful and angry?
And I never want to go back until next year? Or
is it that, like, I want to actually connect, feel safe, and feel confident that I can leave if I feel called to, but what I want to do is feel connected and with love with everybody that I'm with. You know, so I think that everybody's got to find what that is for themselves, right? I mean, it could be, I just want to go and just be able to be myself and feel safe. Or it could be, you know, I want to, it's okay that I feel anxious, but I want to be able to feel love and be able to connect with everybody that I'm around.
You know, and maybe, you know, as you're doing this step 1, you kind of, and this just came to me, you know, but it might be that what you're realizing is that maybe a whole big family gathering is maybe not exactly what you want, and that maybe you want to create a miniature version on your own. You may like have a different way of seeing how you want to have the holidays go, and that's okay.
Yeah. You know, I think for me, growing up, there was always a sense of, like, this is what we do on this holiday, and this is what we do on this holiday. Yeah. And there was...
Because you have a big family.
Right.
You have a really big family.
Right. First we visit these people, and then we visit, you know, first we visit grandma, and then the other grandma, and the next day we, you know, do the next thing. So, and that would happen for every holiday. But it's been nice, I think, for you and I also to be able to think about, what do we want,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
rather than feeling obligated, and finding the flexibility to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, and so being open in that way of really thinking of like what the, you know, the experience you want. Maybe it's not the big gathering. Maybe it's the small visit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know for some folks who have a challenging family member or family, you know, one thing that's been helpful is to keeping it brief and focused, right?
Yes.
Right. So like, and having that intention is, you know, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to say hello, I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to express my love and gratitude and share a little bit about my life, and then I'm going to go.
And then I'm going to go. And sometimes if you have a family member that, you know, you love and you care about, but ultimately is very dysfunctional and maybe has a lot of difficulty, you know, allowing you to leave the house, or, you know, like is always sort of begging for more time, or, you know, like you just know that like there's this need that sort of comes along with the whole thing. That one thing that you can do also, so if you're beginning with the end in mind of how you want things to go, then you can start to think about the creative ways that you can actually have this happen. And so one of those ways, not doing the big family gathering, but maybe taking this one particular family member out to eat. So like there's a time, you know, it's not going to go past like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you keep the conversation brief, focused, you're in a public place, so there's not too much drama going on, and then you go.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, you know, what we're really talking about too is that, you know, if there's a plan already in place, you know, how you're going to show up for that plan. But if there's something that hasn't been created yet, recognizing that you have you know, you can create part of what the plan is, whether it's to visit briefly or not. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the first thing is kind of like, what is the setting?
Yeah.
Right? And then how you want to show up, and how you want to feel.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the three main things of step one. Step two is really being clear about your desires with your family members.
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, you know, you're participating in creating the healthy boundary, right, around what it is that you want in this visit, this connection. And I think we're starting to get into that already.
Yeah, like the steps all sort of mold together, but it's so if you have this idea of the end game and how you want it to be, then you can start to create, or you can start to think about the creative solutions to be able to have that happen. And then once you do that, you have to express it to your family members of like, you know, I only want to come to, you know, Christmas morning for a couple, you know, my intention is only to come to Christmas morning for a couple hours. You know, I really look forward to seeing you from 9 to 11. And I think the importance is really, you know, when you're setting boundaries with family members, around holidays, because everybody sort of wants to be together and wants the whole pack together.
Right.
But if you feel like you need distance, then you have to be very clear about that and set the time and the intention around it.
Yeah.
And doing it with love, not doing it like, I only want to be, you know, come to Christmas morning breakfast from 9 to 11 because you're crazy. Like, that's not setting it with love.
They're not going to want to be around you.
They're not going to want to be around you.
They'll be like, thank God.
They're going to be like, F you know, and like, so, you know, we don't want to do that, but we want to like set the intention with love.
Right.
Or the boundary.
Right, and then being, when you're clear about it, then there's an opportunity maybe where you can collaborate with them around something that works for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so, because they may not want to do what they've
been doing for so long.
Right. You're right. So in that way, it creates an opportunity for a new way of connecting as well, right? So, so I think that there's really getting clear is really helpful in expressing it.
And expressing it. And also recognizing that, you know, for a lot of families, there's a lot of family traditions and things like that. Like what Josh was sort of talking about, how he grew up and like he went to one place for like the morning and then the afternoon and then a different grandma and like all this kind of stuff, you know, that your family may initially be a little bit defensive, or, well, this is what we do, like, you know, this is our tradition, this is what we do. And so just recognize that there may be some initial resistance, but if you say, you know, this is how I really feel comfortable, you know, spending the holidays, you know, maybe there's some way that we can collaborate on a plan together so that we both feel like we're doing what we want to be doing, that would be great. And then being open to what that might look like as well.
Yeah, and I think, like your earlier point, Ashley, like expressing it with love, coming from a place of love, is going to really grease how everybody receives the information in a nice way, you know. And I think that if you're saying to the effect, if they do get upset, like, hey, I really want to connect with you, and this is one way that I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't argue with that. Like, you can, but
stay true.
Yeah.
Stay true.
And that takes us to step 3. Right. Which is really following through on what you said. And I think that that's following through on the plan, following through on how you want to feel, and what the experience is that you want to have. Right. I think part of, you know, having difficult family members is giving them the permission to be a bit crazy or do whatever it is that they do. I use that word to kind of just describe anything that might be difficult. And then meanwhile, if you're clear on what you want your experience to be, then you can anchor into that and just kind of allow the other folks to do what they're doing as long as it doesn't hurt you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think too, you know, as you start to set these, you know, there's so many opportunities, I think, for this during the holidays to set boundaries with love. And as you start to do this during the holidays, it starts to also become like the holidays are like a really tough time to do it, right? Because there's a lot of like tradition at stake and relationships, like there's just like the stress of like traffic and just lots of craziness and pressure going on. And so if you can do this around the holidays, it's going to be so much easier to do it throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah. Yep. And I think, you know, it's like doing this with family, you know, that's kind of like the real ground. That's the training camp, you know, to really bring it into the rest of your life.
Totally.
And I think as you shift and really integrate this, other folks can't help but shift as well. So these are 3 steps to making your holidays that much easier.
Yeah. So we really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do, please share it. Share.
Yes, please.
If you know somebody that really needs some support during the holiday season, please share this out. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns for us, we would absolutely love to hear from you. So don't be afraid to reach out and let us know what you would like us to chat about. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining and watching.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.